Sister Silverine, Ambassador Extraordinaire of PAIN, Parental Alienation Awareness International Network, and we are talking about From Pain to Healing, where we're going to have a series of talks on Sundays from 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sankhya TV. Thank you.
Sister Silverine, once again, I thank you for having me and welcoming me in your space, your center. And today's topic, because the last topic was about the power of words, and before that we were talking about how the emotions are in fact a product of our thoughts. I wanted to find out about what is the power of thought, because we didn't cover it in detail. And you know, people who are going through a lot of difficulties in their life, be it in the parental alienation environment, or a child being let's say in a difficult circumstance with their parents, or even at school, people who feel stressed out at school, at work, naturally all of us, we have thoughts. And so I want to get an idea of exactly what power our thoughts have on our lives.
Very good. I'm going to start with an example. So there was this class, and one of the students, he had a beautiful pen, and another student, a poorer one, he loved that pen so much that he wished he had a pen like that, but he cannot afford. So he decided to steal that pen from that other student. So he stole the pen. Next day in the class, the student came and told the teacher that someone stole his pen. Now the teacher asked the whole class, who stole his pen? Nobody answered. So the teacher decided to check everyone's pocket. Who has the pen? And checking everyone's pocket, he found the boy who stole the pen. But the teacher continued checking everyone's pocket, even though he found it in someone's pocket. So after checking everyone's pocket, teacher says, okay, we found the pen, and gave it back to the student who lost his pen. Now the one who stole it was never told to the class that he stole it. The teacher never told the class who stole that pen, even though the teacher knew and the one who stole it knew. Only those two people knew who stole the pen. Until today, the teacher never told that class, the whole class never knew who stole the pen. Everyone got big and they grew up, and the one who stole, he became a teacher. And long after becoming the teacher, he met with that teacher who he knew is the one who knew that he stole the pen. And when he asked the teacher, why didn't you tell the class that I stole the pen? He says that if I had told the class that you stole the pen, you would have felt very low, dejected, lose self-respect, and things like that. But in order to save that child from losing self-respect, from losing a certain form of dignity, the teacher kept it to himself and never said anything. And that boy who stole, he grew up to be a teacher because that teacher was silent and did not tell the rest of the class that this child is a thief. So he saved that child. So the power of thought is such that in that teacher's mind, if he had done what was expected of anybody else by telling the class that this one is the thief, he would have destroyed an individual. He could have destroyed an individual because the whole class would ridicule him. So thoughts have such power that you can either destroy someone or you could build someone. Why? Thoughts are energies, and we are constantly thinking. Each thought that we create are energies that we are producing, be it negative or be it positive. Because there are 4 types of thoughts. There is negative and positive, and there is necessary and unnecessary. And it doesn't have to be negative or positive. Necessary or unnecessary doesn't have to be negative or positive. For example, a woman in the house early morning would start thinking that I alone have to do all the work in the house. I have to wake up and I have to make this and I should do this and I should make the groceries today and I should do this and I have to take the child. It's not negative thinking but unnecessary thinking. Unnecessary means it's not destroying you. It's not negative, but you are thinking about it constantly. You are using up your energy, it will make you tired. But it is not damaging in the sense that emotionally, mentally, etc. So necessary and unnecessary. Necessary thought is, okay, today I have to make the groceries. At some point I will. That's a necessary thought. The unnecessary thought is, I know I have to make the groceries, but I don't know how I'm going to make the grocery. What will happen if I don't make the grocery? Or what will not happen? Oh Lord, this is unnecessary thinking. The necessary thought is that I have to make the groceries today. Unnecessary thinking is, what am I going to make this grocery? How I'm going to make the grocery? What I will need to buy? All of these things, no, unnecessary. So there are, and each thought also has an impact. So here we are, the individuals, creating all these thoughts in our minds. Thoughts are energies, as I mentioned to you. But thoughts in relationships with each other is very, very important. Why? Because we are creating thoughts constantly against or towards each other or for each other. Let's say I start thinking about you or anyone for that matter of fact. And then in a fraction of a second, my phone rings. And the one who is calling me is the one who I was just thinking about. And then I would tell that one who just called me, I was just thinking about you, and here my phone ring, and you are calling. You catch my thought. And this is the way thoughts work. Because thoughts are also vibrations. The moment you think about someone, that energy quickly goes to that one. Because where is your focus? On that one. And thoughts are more powerful than words. Why? Because you could be here and you're thinking about someone, let's say in London or India or USA. That thought will reach that one. But you cannot, the words will not reach that one. But thoughts, yes. Because thoughts are powerful. The mind is one of the most powerful instruments that there is in this world. There is nothing more powerful than the human mind. And the mind is an organ of the soul where all the thoughts are being created. So here, on a daily basis, constantly, we are always thinking about someone or another. And we are not aware of the impact our thoughts are having on someone. A beautiful example is, let's say, the majority of us works in offices or in companies, and we always have someone above us. We call that one the boss. And sometimes not all our bosses have a good nature, or a nature that we like, a nature that we accept. But this is his way that we cannot change, because you cannot change anyone. So let's say you are working there in your office and the boss comes in. And whenever he comes in, for you, in your vision, you seeing the boss as being someone who is always upset and angry, in a bad mood or aggressive. This is the way you are seeing him. And so because you are seeing him in this way, this is the way you start thinking about him. Now each time you think about that individual in a negative way, that negative energy will reach him. So before the boss comes every morning, here are my thoughts. Each time he comes into the office, this is the way he is. Always upset, always angry, always like this. So what will you expect? This is a vibration that you have sent to him. So what do you expect in return? When he comes to you, this is the way he will be. Because this is what you have created in your mind about him. What goes around comes around. So once this girl came to me who works in an office, and she said, "Sister, my boss is always like this. Every morning he comes, he's always upset, angry, moody, etc." So I says, "Okay, let's do some meditation. And let us calm our minds, and maybe we'll be able to process, what is happening to the individual. Because everyone have their own story behind the way they act. And that is, of course, beyond our imagination, because we don't know what others are going through. So we should not be a judge." So okay. So we started to do meditation. And after about 3 sessions, exactly 3 sessions, when this girl came on the 4th day, she said, "Sister, do you know my boss changed? My boss now is completely different. He's not the same person. Now when he comes to the office, he smiles. And he's very loving and he's very peaceful and nice." So I simply asked her, "Is your boss meditating?" She said, "No." So who was meditating? Who changed? The boss did not change. Who changed there? This individual who was seeing her boss in this way has changed her attitude towards him. She changed the way she thinks about him. She changed her vision towards him. And because she changed the way she thinks about him, she changed her vision towards him, then his relationship with her also changed. Why? Everyone thinks. And however or whatever is the quality of thoughts that you are creating, you are generating vibrations. And that vibrations is what then goes out and reaches everyone who comes into touch with you. And so because she changed the way she thinks, she changed her vision towards this person, she started to generate a more positive attitude towards him. So that energy reaches him. And as soon as that energy reached him, his attitude towards her then changed. I can give you a very beautiful example. Of course, it's myself. I used to work here in Trinidad in a pharmacy in the Cuba area. Ramlugans to be specific. And of course, I was already in this practice of meditation. So I would wake up 3 a.m. in the morning and do my meditations and prepare to go to work and so on. And when I go there, I was the first one. So I had a key. I would open up and so on. And I was in the cash register because I did not know much about the drugs and the medications at that time. So I was doing cashing. And there were people who would come to the pharmacy. This is what they told the boss lady afterwards, that they just come there to look at me, to see me. Why? Because if you enter a place and you see someone who looks peaceful, who looks joyful, who looks happy, and could give you or speak to you a beautiful and positive word, you'll always want to go there. And it happens with doctors, for example, with their patients. When doctors speak sweetly and peacefully and nicely to their patients, this is what makes patients feel nice. And so when people come to you, what they expect from you, they expect a positive word. They don't expect negativity. And so positivity helps you to create or generate good relationships. And so people would only come to this pharmacy with the excuse to buy something. The excuse is to get something, but they're actually coming to see me because I will give them a positive word in the morning. And somehow in that cash register, everyone would get their correct change. No one ever complained about change, but every day used to be abundance. So positivity is such energy that it generates prosperity, it brings abundance. Everything about you, if you're positive, will then be so smooth. Positivity is such energy that it could remove obstacles from your path. So you could clear your own path. You can create a beautiful path for yourself simply by being positive, creating positive energies. And you can also mend relationships simply by being positive, because what damages relationships really is negative thoughts. Someone may have, let's say, a nature or attitude that you may not like, but that is that one's attitude or nature. If you don't allow it to enter you and affect you, but you constantly keep on having positive thoughts about that one, that positivity would be such that you could mend that relationship. And so positivity is such power that helps to heal relationships. So each one of us could heal our relationships simply by creating positive thoughts, having a positive vision and attitude towards someone or anyone. And so this topic of positivity is very, very big. We can never finish talking about it. But understanding how positive thoughts have such impact on others, that it helps to build someone. You can help someone to become something great just by being positive with that one. For example, the attitude of a mother towards her child. A mother has so much positive attitude and thoughts towards her child that even if that child has a defect, that mother's positive nature towards a child, that nature of motivating that child, giving that child strength and encouragement to go forward no matter what, is enough to help that child to get over any weakness and win, to destroy his own obstacles, because he is being motivated from a positive approach. Whereas negative thoughts, for example, these things happen in schools and even in the family. Let's say a child is not able to function well. So what the mother or the father will do? Think, my child is like this. He's dull-headed, he's dunce, he cannot study, he cannot pass, he cannot do this. What are you doing to your child? you're not helping your child to grow. Because each time you create that thought about your child, you send that energy to that child's mind, even if it's not words, just thought. That negative thought that reaches that child's mind is enough to start destroying that child. So even though that child may be having a lot of potentials, a lot of abilities and capabilities that is not being seen as yet, what a negative thought is doing is suppressing this child's abilities. Simple thinking negative about the child. You are suppressing, you're actually destroying an individual simply by thinking negative about him or her. So thoughts have power. Thoughts are having a negative or positive influence on others' mind. So let's say a couple living in a home. So the wife will tell the husband, well, let us do this for me, or bring this for me. The husband will do it. And the husband may tell the wife, well, make this for us for our dinner today. Tell her to do whatever. So he can tell her to do and she will do. And she can tell him to do and he will do. Both are doing. So who is controlling him? She controls him. And he controls her. So they are controlling each other. Thoughts. So who is in control of who? I know if I tell my husband to do something, he will do it. Guarantee. Husband knows if I tell my wife to do something, she will do it. Who is controlling who? So, he is being controlled by her and she is being controlled by him. So, who is in control? Is it I am allowing someone else to control me? Or is it I am in control? Who is controlling me? Now, when parents, for example, put rules and regulations in their home, if the parents put a rule for their children, it means this rule is to control them. Or this discipline is to control them. So who is controlling who? What are we being controlled by? It stems from a single thought, because the parents are thinking, if we put this discipline for the children, then they have to abide by that discipline. They will not do that. If we carry them to the gym and if we create outdoor recreation and programs for them, then they will not go on the opposite side. Where is it coming from? A single thought. So a single thought is having so much impact on others' minds. So we are trying to control others, everyone and everything externally. What about internally? How much am I able to control what is happening inside of me? So who is in control finally? Who is in control of me? Who is in control of you? Is it you controlling me, or is it I am controlling you? And so the world is being controlled by others. Nations are being controlled by a leader, if not to go into that detail. But thoughts have so much power. All invention that is happening is through a single thought. And so a single thought could either create beautiful relationships, and a single thought can either destroy good relationships. Where are we? So with these few thoughts, I will now invite you to a short meditation. And for this short meditation, I invite you to find a comfortable place. And you sit relaxed. And as you sit here in this relaxed state of mind, let's go within ourselves. Let us think about ourselves. Let us learn to see what is happening inside of us. And so I take my attention to the center of my forehead. And there seated is a beautiful point of living light. And this being of light is a source of energy and power within me. And this being of light is where all my thoughts, my emotions and feelings are being created. Thoughts means I am constantly generating energies. And each energy that I create are vibrations that I am sending out into the world. It's vibrations I am sending to others. And so according to the thoughts that I create, so will be the vibrations that I emanate. Many a times we hear people say that I do not like the vibrations of certain individuals. It simply means that when our thoughts, our intentions, our motives are not positive, then we naturally generate negative energies, which means we begin to produce negative vibrations. Negative vibrations makes us as well as others uncomfortable. Whereas positive vibrations create a positive and comfortable atmosphere. But in order to generate a comfortable atmosphere, I must create positive thoughts of myself and others. And so I become aware of what is happening inside of me, understanding the effect of every thought and understanding the outcome of these thoughts. And I just create in my mind thoughts of myself. Where I think that I am a positive and peaceful being. I am a loving being. I am a happy being. I am a pure being. And as I create such thoughts about myself, I begin to generate such energies within me. Peaceful energies, loving energies, happy energies, will then translate into peaceful vibrations, loving and happy vibrations. And these vibrations then go out into the atmosphere around me. And so I begin to feed the atmosphere with peaceful, loving, and pure energies. Thank you, and Om Shanti.
Join us globally every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Sankhya Television as Parental Alienation Awareness International Network, PAIN, presents Ambassador Extraordinaire, Brahma Kumari's Sister Silverine Manguru with the series From Pain to Healing.
This program is sponsored by Sampex Limited, Networking Societies for a Better Future.